I grew up in Mililani, it's a small town like the suburbs. I've been training ever since I was 3, so I've really just been always on the mats. My first fight was at 4 years old. It was a pancration match. I've essentially been training and competing ever since I was 4. I've won multiple world and national youth titles in MMA and pankration. I'm so lucky, and I love that I grew up in Hawaii because, just like the community here, it's a lot different than any other state in America. I'm definitely super excited for this upcoming fight. I've been training really hard. It's been a really tough fight camp, and I'm so excited to just get out there and show all the new skills I've developed because, this 6 months I've taken off of fighting, it's definitely helped level up all the other skills in my game. Whenever I enter the ring, my plan is always to finish it as soon as possible. So whether it be by submission or TKO or KO, whatever comes first.
You got any secret techniques you're gonna show?
I do have some tricks up my sleeve that I'm going to be showing on fight night. So,
You ever gonna come to the UFC at all? You're the next youngest, biggest rising thing out of Hawaii right now. So
mhm.
obviously they want to see you in the UFC. Like I said, I know Chatri likes you, but let me know your answer.
Yeah,
Who's like your favorite UFC fighter right now, if you were to give one?
I think it'd be Ilia
Oh, you
Topuria.
like Ilia,
That's kind of bad.
Jake Paul.
Yeah.
You want to beat his ass or what? Because of Mike Tyson?
Yeah, I was like, trick, right? This guy. For me, I have extremely high expectations of myself, and I have extremely high goals that I plan to do on this sport. I plan to be at the top of the top when I end my career. One of my goals, I plan on staying undefeated my entire career. And I plan on not just winning a belt in one division or two, perhaps three, four. I'm like, I lucky where I started where I am. If there was like weight cutting, I could go down to 55, but with my frame, I could go up like 3 divisions higher. I plan on doing big things in the sport.
You think you got like the biggest bag out of like any of the young kids as far as like your skill sets go?
Saying for myself, I think that I definitely have a big advantage over, other young rising stars around my age because of how experienced I've gotten with all the competitions I've had over the years. Lately, I've been getting more on top of my social media because, that's such a big part of the fight game.
It
Like,
is.
yeah, your brand and investing in yourself. So,
All right, so today I'm joined by 18-year-old Phenom out of Hawaii, Adrian Lee. Welcome, man. How are you?
doing good. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man, of course. So I think a lot of people are excited about your start in MMA right now. I believe you started last year, right? When you were 17
Mhm,
and you got 2 fights in. Now you're 18, about to get your third fight.
mhm.
But before we talk about that, I think you've done a few interviews, but you haven't really told kind of like, I guess, like a full story of yourself and who you are. So just to start it off, you're from Singapore, right?
So actually, I'm originally from Hawaii. I was born
Okay.
and raised in Hawaii. However, me and my family, we represent Singapore because that's where like majority of our family is, and we fight out of there a lot. So it's we usually represent.
Okay. So did you live there too for a little bit though?
No, actually, I haven't. It was
Okay.
my dad lived there and he grew up there, but I've gone there a bunch times, like visiting relatives, and my siblings have always fought in Singapore. But no, I myself has never lived in Singapore.
Okay. Were all of you guys born in Hawaii or were some of you guys born in Singapore?
Me and my sister Victoria, we were born in Hawaii. My two older siblings, they're actually born in Canada.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah. hmm
Okay. So where did you grow up in Hawaii then?
I grew up in Mililani, it's a small town like the suburbs, and I was really fortunate always growing up. I was always in the gym. I've been training ever since I was 3, so I've really just been always on the mats.
Okay. That's where like Manti Te'o's from or no?
Or who?
Manti Te'o, the football player?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, you don't know.
I don't
But
know.
it's a big football town too, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 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 definitely. Football's really big here.
Okay. So I guess when you were training MMA and stuff, was that a big thing in Mililani at the time?
Yeah, yeah. I myself I wanted to get into football for a little bit, but ever since I was young, I was always training in MMA, so I never really had the time to go into other sports. But now that I am where I am, I'm glad that I stuck where I did.
Okay. Did you have like a lot of training partners though, or has it mostly been your family that you're training with in Hawaii? Like who do you train with out there?
Well, actually, so me and my family, we have a gym in Hawaii called it used to be called United MMA Hawaii when my dad was running it. but my brother's taking over, so it's called Prodigy Training Center. But we have a pretty big gym. We have a bunch of fighters, a good solid fight team, so we always get plenty of fighters on hand.
Okay, so you have like a enough training partners, like you're not kind of out there by yourself with just your brother training and stuff like that. You got a lot of guys out there kind of.
I mean, definitely there were times where it would just be me and my brother in the gym training with ourselves because especially during COVID, it was a tough time. The gym was closed down, but now we got a pretty solid fight team.
Okay. And just going back, you said you've been training since you're 3. So, I mean, I
Mhm.
feel like my first memory is until I'm like 6.
Yeah.
Do you remember training when you're 3 and all that?
Well, I mean, my oldest memory is me on the mats. It's kind of hard because I've grown up with doing mixed martial arts, so it's kind of like as familiar to me as like reading and writing.
Okay. So when did you have like your first kind of like fight? Like you were training, but when was the first fight?
My first fight was at 4 years old. It is at Tiger Bomb International or something. Is a pancration match.
Okay. Did you win that?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, hell yeah. What
Yeah.
happened in there? Like a decision or something?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a decision. When I watched back that match actually not too long ago, and it's like it's all really, really blurry, really old, but I still got the job done.
Okay. And then how long after that did you fight? Like, is this you've been fighting since you're 4? Was that like a one-off? You took a long break, or like what kind of happened after that?
No, I've essentially been training and competing ever since I was 4. I've won multiple world and national youth titles in MMA and Pankration. Mainly though, we do you know Nagas, the North
Yeah.
American Wrestling Association? Yeah. So I've gone to like almost every one of those. So
Okay.
like growing up, every time there's an event in Hawaii, I always competed in it.
And you've won like all those pretty much every time you go, I'm
Oh yeah,
assuming?
yeah. My family, like in our gym, we have like a massive wall of just Naga belts because all 4 of us, we'd always go and compete in the expert division and bring back more belts.
Okay. And you've been doing that since basically 4 as well,
Yeah, since 4 years old.
all throughout high school and all that stuff too.
Yeah, yeah. Throughout high school, I was still grappling in the Naga competitions. I also wrestled in high school. I won states for the Hawaii States tournament.
Yeah,
But
2023, right?
yeah, yeah, 2023.
Yeah. Okay. So, you were wrestling in high school and then you've been, fighting since you're like 4. Like, what about like middle school? Were you homeschooled or were you always going to school and stuff like that, like public school?
Yeah, so I actually went to like a charter school. It was like half in school, half out of school. Like I
What is
only
it like the Kamehameha or something like that?
it was called HTA. It's like a tech school kind of. Like I went to school like 2, 3 days a week. But that was really great because like whenever my siblings had a fight, we'd all fly up together. So I was always missing a lot of school. And in middle school was when I won my nationals and my first national and world titles in MMA youth.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you have to do to win those? Like, is it a qualifier tournaments, like leading up to that and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, yeah. So how those tournaments work, it's all like tournament style. So first we had to go fly up to I don't know where, but then we had nationals at the USFL. And then after that, if you're first or second, you qualified for worlds. And then
Mhm.
we went to that afterwards.
Okay. I feel like a lot of people like don't do that. Like if you see all the UFC fighters right now, I feel like there's like a 2% amount of people in there that have like competed the way you're talking about, right? Like on youth championships and tournaments. Like
Mhm.
you probably fought like multiple times in a day, I'm assuming maybe like twice or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. And then what they're
Yeah.
multiple day tournaments, so it's like 2 fights a day or something.
Yeah, I think it was like a 2-day tournament and then like 2 to 4 fights.
Yeah.
Course of fights like the first day and then like 1 or 2 fights the second day.
Yeah, so I think like this is the future, I feel like, of MMA. Like I just said, a lot of guys don't do this. You know what I mean? And this is something where boxing does it. Like you see Ryan Garcia, like a 15-time national champion before he even like, made it pro, right? And then a
Mhm,
lot of these guys have Olympic backgrounds, which MMA doesn't have. So I
mhm.
guess with all your experience, how do you think that kind of like helps you out today in your fighting?
No, I definitely think that all the experience with all the competitions I've gone through as I've grown up through the years has definitely got me to a much higher level than, your normal 18-year-old. I feel like I've experienced so much time in the ring that it's comfortable to me in the sense where it's like I've been doing it my whole life, so it's like natural to me.
Yeah. How many fights do you think you have?
Oh, that's so hard.
Think 100? Have you touched like 100?
Yeah, probably I'd say. I mean, it's kind of hard at the youth, to keep track of that, but
Hmm.
I've had a lot of matches.
Plus with wrestling too, right? You got
Yeah,
to have like over like that's so much competition experience. I feel like all these MMA fighters right now, they
yeah,
have that's what they're lacking is a lot of experience. You
yeah,
ever notice that at all? Like in the
yeah,
UFC,
yeah.
you see
I
guys
did.
up there and
Yeah.
then they seem to like crumble. You know what I'm
Mhm,
talking about?
mhm. Yeah, definitely. You can't cheat the time on the mats, and just every time you enter into any competition, it's adding levels to your game.
Yeah. Okay, so also just curious, like what kind of kid were you growing up? Were you like a hyper kid, like you popular kid in high school and shit like that? Like tell me about some of like your school life.
So growing up, I was always told that I was always a super hyper kid. I always had a bunch of energy, and that's why, my parents always put me, well, we always grew up doing MMA, but I did like other sports like flag football when I was growing up. But yeah, throughout elementary school and middle school, I was pretty hyper, but once I got to high school, I mellowed out quite a bit, and I kind of just had a small group of friends, and I was fine with that.
Okay. So you weren't in like the big crowd of people with like a lot of distractions. You kept it a small circle.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not too big of like a party person. Yeah.
Okay. So not too much partying in high school. You kept it locked in.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And because Hawaii is a cool place, a lot of people like it, they talk about it. So growing up there in that environment, did you enjoy it? Like what was it like for you?
Oh yeah, I'm so lucky, and I love that I grew up in Hawaii because, just like the community here, it's a lot different than any other state in America. Like,
My
especially.
mom's Hawaiian, by the way, so I know what you're talking about.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, but go on.
yeah, yeah. It's just like the community, the people. It's just like kind of hard to explain, but like I'm just so grateful that I grew up where I grew up.
Yeah, I live in California, and
Hmm.
like one of the things I noticed is people don't really say hi to you.
Yeah, yeah,
Like they're not very polite. And that's something I
yeah.
like about it over there is like they're just respectful and like
Mhm.
elders and stuff like that. Like there's not a problem like saying hi to somebody older than you or younger than you. But
Mhm.
here I feel like if you get an older guy or some shit like that, they're like judging you, you know?
Yeah, 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 for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to talk about the high school wrestling a little bit. What were you like? Because I know you won in your senior year, but the first 3 years, how did you do? And like were you always on varsity and all that shit?
Yeah, so actually I won states in my junior year,
Oh,
but
you did.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I didn't wrestle my freshman year because I was COVID.
Mhm.
And then my first year of wrestling was sophomore year, and I only ended up placing fifth at states. But the second year around, I mean junior year, that's where I won states. And then senior year, I was planning on wrestling at states, but that's when I signed with one. So I was like, I just ended up going with one because it's like I didn't really I was more focused on starting my career already.
Okay, so you said you won fifth sophomore year, you
Mhm.
won it junior, and then you said you were gonna go to states, but you didn't
No, I
senior
didn't
year?
wrestle at all. I didn't wrestle at all senior year.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
when it says 2023, that was your junior year.
Junior year, yeah.
Okay, and then you stopped wrestling senior year.
Yeah.
Were you okay with that, or like was that cool with you, or do you like looking back now, like what do you think about that? It was
Yeah.
all worth it in
Um,
hindsight, or
It definitely at first, like right when states ended, I was like, man, I should have gone, I got a little bit of FOMO, but I think that now looking back at it, it was the right decision because the place where I'm at right now, I'm so grateful to be in. So
Mhm.
it all happened how it should have been.
Okay. And if you don't want to talk about this, this is fine. But just something I was just kind of thinking about just now is I was looking at your resume and I was thinking it was kind of impressive because you went through something pretty, traumatic in your
Hmm.
high school. And I thought that you did your senior year. So
Hmm.
did you take off that time to maybe like, be to yourself and kind of like grieve a little bit like you probably needed to do?
Yeah, that was definitely a really tough time for me and my family, and definitely getting back into wrestling and starting competing again. It was pretty rough, but it was a huge motivation, and I believe that's part of what led me and drove me to win states that junior year.
Okay. And as far as your motivation goes now, like, is that something like a big driving force for you as well? You kind of that's always on your mind right now, like pushing you.
Yeah, definitely. My sister, she always did, and she always had a huge impact on my life. And I'm definitely taking her with every step in my career moving forward.
Okay. Yeah, I lost my dad when I was like in high school and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So I know that you kind of have to take time to grieve. Like it took me a lot longer to get over things. That's
Yeah,
why I was kind of thinking like, damn, this kid's like, doing all this shit, and he's kind of been
yeah,
through a lot. So looking at it from an outside perspective, I think it's pretty surprising. A lot of people wouldn't be doing what you're doing. And I'm looking forward to seeing what you accomplish, and making your sister proud and all that stuff.
yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So talking about this upcoming fight and stuff, I've been seeing some of your interviews, and I feel like you kind of want to talk about like the fight and like what you're gonna do in there. I think you're excited about it. So you want to tell me anything like your thoughts about your opponent, like what you're training, what you're looking forward to showing, and like setting up your pro career because it's about to be a third fight.
Yeah, I'm definitely super excited for this upcoming fight. It's been like 6 months since my last fight, so definitely I want to stay more active after this next fight. But I've been training really hard. It's been a really tough fight camp, and I'm so excited to just get out there and show all the new skills I've developed because this 6 months I've taken off of training, I mean fighting, it's definitely helped level up all the other skills in my game.
Okay.
Mhm.
What do you think about your opponent?
Oh yeah, I think he's a great fighter. He's super active. Last year he had 4 fights pro, and he's 5-0. He's another up and coming prospect. So I'm excited to go out there and put on a show.
Okay. What is he good at? Do you like watch film or how do you train for your opponents?
Yeah, yeah. I've watched all of his past fights. He's decent everywhere. He's kind of all around an MMA fighter. And whenever I enter the ring, my plan is always to finish it as soon as possible. So whether it be by submission or TKO or KO, whatever comes first.
Okay. He's 5-0
Yeah, yeah. He's 5-0
and he's 27.
years old. Yeah.
Right, he is, right? Okay, so that's 9 years older than you, like, I know you don't really care about that. I know that you're confident going into it, but they don't got, like, younger guys to match you up with or, like, why this guy?
I don't really know. I don't choose my opponents. Whoever my coaches and the matchmakers give me, I'm fine. I'll fight whoever it is. So it doesn't really phase me.
Okay, do you get, like, any calls and people are turning you down at this point or anything like that going on behind the scenes?
For me, I don't really know because I'm not really involved with all that stuff. I leave it up to my coaches and the matchmakers, but the only thing I'm focused on is on the fight and getting it done.
Okay, so your dad just like, lets you know, he's like, "Yo, you gotta fight, like, this is the
Yeah, yeah.
guy," and you trust him. He finds you the right matchup, so to speak, right? Kinda
Yeah.
like in boxing.
Yeah, my dad and my brother, they deal with all that stuff. So they just tell me who I have to fight and I'm ready.
Okay. What is just curious, what's your brother up to, like, right now? Because you guys train a lot together, right? Like, is he with you, or what's he
Yeah,
doing right now?
my brother and my dad are my head coaches in this camp, and well, every camp.
Mhm.
My brother's running the sessions, and we're both training together every day, improving. So I'm excited for him to get back in the ring too.
Okay. You got any, secret techniques you're gonna show?
Um,
I feel like you do.
I do have some tricks up my sleeve that I'm gonna be showing on fight night, so everyone just gotta make sure to tune in to watch that.
Alright, sounds good. So what is actually, something that kind of caused me to reach out to you, I wanted to give you some credit on this. I saw you've been making some videos, like, kinda
Yeah,
detailing, like, your training. No, but I think it's cool, and I think, like, as a younger guy, this is part of, like, this is what you have to do. I feel like the older fighters, that's kind of not really in their generation, but you're
Mhm.
one of those newer generation fighters, and you're actually fighting. I think a lot of guys just do it who don't fight, you feel me?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but I
Uh-huh.
like to see your stuff, so just tell me, like, what's your kinda your day in camp like? Like, what's your day to day right now?
Yeah. So right now, we used to have training at 5:30 a.m., but we pushed it back to 6:30 to get, that one extra hour of sleep.
Mhm.
We were training at 5:30 a.m. for like the past like year and a half. So like it was a huge change in that extra hour of sleep. But we usually train 5:30. We go for about 2.5 hours to 3.5 hours in the morning. After that, I go
And, like,
home.
what do you do in the morning? Just curious. Like, you,
Oh,
light training?
oh, there's with my brother and dad, there's almost no such thing as light training. Every
Okay.
session is, it's always fight for your life. But then yeah, so we get it always changes. We do a lot of sparring, do a lot of drilling technique. After the morning session, I always do recovery, especially when I'm in fight camp. I always do an ice bath every day. And I'm lucky to have all the amenities. So I have like an ice bath, like well, not me, but like I go take an ice bath or a hot tub. And then after that, just rest up. I do another session in the afternoon with my dad. That's usually more technical,
Okay.
strategy. And then after that, we have nighttime classes. So my brother runs a gym. So I usually am there. I'm helping teach the kids class, and then I train and I teach in the adult class, and I spar in the class after that.
Okay. So just like all training all day long.
Yeah, yeah, essentially,
Yeah.
yeah.
You ever get sore? I mean, I'm sure you probably sore like just day to day, but you just deal with it, huh? You bear with it.
Oh yeah, like these fight camps, they're like the most sore you'll ever be in your life.
Yeah.
Like
You
even
ever get a
right now,
massage or
I'm very
something?
sore. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm sure
so
you are.
I'm super big on recovery. That's one thing that I feel like people neglect because, being a professional MMA fighter, you really have to invest it all into your own body. So, right now I'm eating really clean, I'm dieting. I go hot tub, ice baths every day. I have like Normatec, massage guns, like I do it all. Like I invest it all back into my body.
And you can't skimp on it, right? Because I even feel like for myself, I notice when you do it every day, it helps you out a lot more than when you do it when you're sore. You
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
me? Because you got to do it like preventory too. I feel like
hmm
a lot of people be like, fuck, my back is sore. So then I'm going to like do some like recovery, so to speak. But
hmm
like, you can't wait till you're sore, you know? That's
Yeah.
my thoughts on it. What do you think?
Yeah, yeah, no, that's definitely a
Like
great point.
disciplined, right? Same as training like MMA.
Yeah, you gotta stay disciplined and consistent because, especially if you want to get into the fight game, you gotta do this every day. So you gotta make sure that your body can keep up with what you're wanting to put out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You ever think about training with like Max Holloway and some of these guys? You know, those are like legends in Hawaii. I'm sure they're right down the road from you.
Yeah, I would love to train with Max or any of the other big fighters on the island. My brother has trained with Max a bit back a few years ago, but if the chance comes up, I would love to hop in and train with anybody. Yeah.
Okay. Why haven't you done it yet? You don't think you just locked in?
Uh
Like, do you look up to Max?
yeah, yeah, I definitely think that, what he's done with the sport and like, I think that he's a great fighter. And I would love to train with him. I guess maybe just the opportunity didn't present itself yet. I'm not really like looking like I'm like looking for a chance to, but if chance pops up, I'd love to. Because like right now I'm just focused on training as hard as I can every day. Yeah.
Okay. Um, Speaking of Max, I guess like an obvious one. I think probably everybody wants to know the answer to. This might be like the biggest question. You ever gonna come to the UFC at all?
Uh,
I know Chatri is like really nice to you guys. You
mhm,
guys have a really good relationship. So before you even answer that, can I just say something real quick? Let me just say that like Chatri, I know that like you want Adrian to just stay locked in there forever, right? But a lot of fans, right, they're always gonna be clamoring to see you in the UFC. And you're a
mhm,
young 18-year-old, you're the next prodigy. I know you're the phenom, but BJ Penn was the prodigy out of Hawaii. You're the
mhm,
next youngest, biggest rising thing out of Hawaii right now. So
mhm.
obviously, they want to see you in the UFC. Like I said, I know Chatri likes you, but let me know your answer.
Yeah, right now I'm in a great place and I'm really grateful for that everything that one championship has given me. Right now I'm happy where I'm at and I'm planning to just take it one fight at a time and wherever the future takes me.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
You ever get prepped on that answer right there? They just,
Sometimes.
yeah, they're like, all right, when they ask you this one, like, this is what you got to say. You can't skimp too much. But you
Yeah.
like the UFC, right? I know you watch it. I've been watching some interviews. So you say you
Yeah,
mostly watch the UFC, right?
yeah, I definitely there's definitely I gotta like there are a bunch of entertaining fighters in the UFC that I do like, I keep track of whenever there's a huge card like UFC 300 where Max was on it. I definitely tuned in and watched that. But yeah, I like keeping track of the UFC fights and like the UFC too.
Yeah. Who's like your favorite UFC fighter right now, if you were to give one?
Um I think it'd be Ilia
Oh, you
Topuria.
like Ilya?
That's kind of bad.
I know
That's
that motherfucker, right?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, like it's kind of hard. It's just like, what he's doing right now, it's just kind of crazy. He's 16 and 0. I feel like he can go really far in this part. He's already gone really far, but like it's he's like just a great MMA fighter with like all around aspects.
Yeah. Did you see his talent before he knocked out Max, or did it take him knocking out Max for you to be like, all right, like he's solidified?
I saw it originally after his fight with Volk. After his fight with
Okay,
Volk,
so you believe that you weren't thinking it was a fluke or anything.
no, no, yeah. I thought, it was a really legit, he's a really legit fighter, and that it was a great fight.
Okay, were you picking Max? Like, I know you might have wanted Max, but like, who were you picking in that, like ahead of it? Just curious.
That was hard. I was definitely rooting for Max, and I thought that it was gonna be a good fight. It could have gone either way, but it's just, with the fight game, it's a game of inches. So it's like that. I guess that wasn't his night, and it's Ilia, so it's all right.
Yeah, like just curious too. What do you think Max did wrong in there? Because I know he was coming in with the game plan. I feel like he was fighting a little bit different than how he normally fights, trying to execute probably. But
Mhm.
like, what did you see in there? If you could give it like a breakdown.
Mhm. I thought he was doing great in the first, what was it, first two rounds?
I believe so, or
Yeah,
at least the
first two
first round,
rounds.
right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He was doing great. He's keeping his distance, sticking and moving. But I think he just got caught. The thing is, like, I've seen a lot of Ilia's fights, he has some heavy hands. So
Mhm.
yeah, I think it was just it's part of the game.
So you think he just got caught? It wasn't like he had a good game plan, is what you're saying? Like he was doing the right things in there, you think?
Yeah, yeah, I think so. I think there's always things to improve on, and there's always things to change. But I think that he was doing well until he got clipped.
Yeah. I think he missed a couple power shots, and they were like big misses, and I think it might have thrown him off.
Yeah,
Something
yeah.
I might have noticed in there. But other than that, like you said, he was doing good. And I
Hmm.
think when he committed a few times, like when he missed, like it's kind of exhausting. Like it's kind of one of those
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, no, no, no,
Okay.
good. Yeah.
With what was I just gonna say? Oh, because you fought at 170, right? Like
Yeah.
twice. Why
Oh,
are you
yeah.
fighting at 170? Or like, is that your normal weight? Like, what weight were you in high school?
Well, in high school, I won states at 160.
Oh, so
So
it's not too far off, but
yeah, yeah, it's not too far. Like right now I'm like pretty light because I'm dieting for my fight, especially with one championship. There's no water cuts, so you really
that's
have
why.
to diet all the way down. So I usually like out of camp, I'm like high 80s, 190, and then I just diet all the way down to 170.
Okay, so you're kind of like a big kid.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm like 5'11", so it's like
Okay, yeah.
reasonable. Yeah.
So you're like 6 foot. I feel like I watched that one interview with that kid, and I thought you were small, but you got like big legs. So I was like, all right, I can't really tell.
No, yeah.
I didn't think you were small, but before I watched it, I thought you were like smaller. And when I was watching, I was like, oh, he's got like long legs. You feel me? So
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
he's
yeah.
taller than like he kind of gives off.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So you're kind of is 170 like let's say you were to fight in the UFC, not that you are, but hypothetically speaking, where there is weight cuts, would you drop down to like 55 or would you be
Yeah.
comfortable at 170?
I think if I had like that kind of weight cut, I would probably drop to 155.
Okay.
But we'll see. I'm still growing, so you never know.
Yeah. So right now it's 170 though, but actually this fight coming up is at lightweight, no?
Yeah, in one championship, lightweight is 170.
Oh, okay.
But weight division above. Yeah.
Okay, got you, got you. Okay. A couple other ones I got for you. Um, Let me ask you this one first because I heard you talk about him. Jake Paul.
Yeah.
You want to beat his ass or what? Because of Mike Tyson?
Yeah, I was like, fake, right, this guy. But like after I watched that fight, I'm not like chasing it or anything. It's just like, in the future, if the opportunity presented itself, I would love to fight him. That'd be
Yeah.
a great fight. But uh,
What are you gonna do to him if you get your hands on him?
anything and everything. No,
Yeah.
no,
You
but
sound like you're about his size. He's probably like no bigger than like 6 foot, 6'1".
yeah,
He's only got like, weight on you.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Just give me like 2 years. Just
Yeah,
I'll
two
just like
years.
bulk up.
Yeah. I know you'll probably be a lot bigger in 2 years though, for real. Um, you think he's fake? Jake Paul, you think he's fake?
I think that he's gotten like throughout all the fights he's had, like a lot of people say like they're gimmick fights or they're all staged, but I think that definitely now he has some pretty like, some legit boxing skills. Like I don't think it's like as high as like he would claim to be it as. But I think that he's gotten to a pretty decent level of boxing. And I think that like who knows, like he might actually because at the place where he has all the resources. So he can really get the best training. So you never know. He might could become a legit boxer someday.
Yeah, because even Floyd after a while, right? Like the money took him pretty far because
Yeah,
all the training you can do. Like you see this guy who just fought Shakur and he's like doing construction. You
yeah,
see
yeah.
that? Shakur
Hmm.
Stevenson in boxing. He
Yeah,
fought
yeah,
a construction worker.
yeah.
Like a lot of
Uh-huh.
guys aren't like fully committed. So when you can fully commit, like
Hmm.
a lot of the game is still like working a side job. That's
Hmm.
probably, something that benefits you because your family is able to kind of like help you out. Like
Hmm.
there's a lot of guys your age who probably want to train, but they got to go work like a regular job, or some shit like that.
Yeah, yeah. I'm super grateful and like I'm blessed to be at the place where I am, where I can just go hard, train every day, and that's my job. So, I hope that like those people who are working those 9 to 5 jobs that are wanting to fight too, they make it well too.
Yeah, for sure. Um, you never got like burnt out or anything like that though, with all the training and like, staying locked in. I'm sure your dad like, is on you about stuff. My dad kind of gave me a short leash too, so I know like the feeling like, but
Hmm.
you always stay locked in, you don't mind it, it seems.
Yeah, I feel like definitely there's been times where like I've gotten a bit burnt out, but you know, can't help it. You just got to keep pushing through. And
Yeah.
like, I don't know since when, but my outlook kind of changed on like the place where I'm at because like, I'm so grateful to have all the resources I can or I have that it's like I have no excuse not to push harder,
Yeah.
It's
So
holding
you
me.
kind of think about that. Like if you ever don't want to train, you're like, you know what? I could be working at a fucking like fast food place somewhere if I didn't have like these good opportunities. I might as well like make the most of it.
Yeah, yeah. And I definitely for me, I have extremely high expectations of myself and I have extremely high goals that I plan to do on the sport. So that's just what keeps me going every day is I strive to be better and better. And I plan to be at the top of the top when I end my career.
Yeah. Okay. So can you tell me more about your goals? Because people are probably dying to know about that too. Like, what do you want to do? Your brother's a two-division champion, right?
Hmm.
You want to do like more than that? Like what's your goals in this? Because you just said you're probably bigger in a couple years, move up a weight class, probably get a title where you're at now.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm extremely optimistic. I have really high goals, and that's just like
You got like a goal sheet or something, or
I do. I mean, I plan one of my goals. I plan on staying undefeated my entire career, and I plan on not just winning a belt in one division or two, perhaps three, four. I'm like, I lucky where I started where I am. I can drop to like if I was like if there was like weight cutting, I could go down to 55, but with my frame, I could go up like 3 divisions higher. So it's like I plan on doing big things in the sport.
okay. Um, I feel like, right, I'm gonna just say it one more time. I won't push it too much.
Mhm.
But, multiple promotion champion, it sounds really nice.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah,
You could build up a good big name in one, like Rainier de Ritter kind of did.
mhm,
And then, the UFC would still love to have you. So not even like rushing you over to UFC, but
mhm,
this the MMA scape is so big,
mhm.
to be able to go around and capture titles would be something cool that not a lot of people are doing right now.
Mhm.
DJ did it. He's the
Yeah,
GOAT.
yeah. DJ,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, he's the GOAT. You think you got like the biggest bag out of like any of the young kids as far as like your skill sets go?
Uh, bag as in like,
Like skill sets. Like you got like the deepest tools out of anyone probably.
um,
Like there's Rosas out there. I don't know who else is out there, but you know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, strictly, saying for myself, I think that I definitely have a big advantage over, other young rising stars around my age because of how experienced I've gotten with all the competitions I've had over the years and having a two-division champ for a brother. You know what I mean? He's the best of the best, and I get to train with him every day. So I think that definitely, it definitely levels up my game a lot.
Yeah. And all the competition experience in wrestling, state champion, you know what I mean? Like pankration champion, like
Hmm.
grappling, Naga champion. So these
Hmm.
are three different things. Like wrestling's one thing, grappling's another, MMA is another. So that's why I'm saying like you probably got like the biggest bag out of anyone, like the deepest tool bag. You feel
Yeah,
me? Yeah.
yeah, I think definitely with this this next generation of MMA fighters that grown up doing everything, it's definitely something you have to look out for because they're like back in the day that you got like the specialists, in each category, but now you got this new generation that's just trained it all from the beginning.
And you see it right in the UFC now. I mean, other than Alex Pereira, right?
Hmm.
But other than him, everybody has the wrestling. Like
Hmm.
Sean Strickland, right? Pretty
Yeah.
one dimensional in there against DDP. He couldn't
Hmm.
get the job done.
Hmm.
Um, Marab, he was just more. He mixed it up better than Umar. You know, you see it with like John Jones and all these guys. So I think that's phasing out. You can't just win a title anymore being
Hmm.
like a specialist. Like jujitsu kind of is black belts just can't come in there and rule the world anymore like they used to, I guess.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I think the game is definitely changing, and yeah, you can't just be a specialist in one area. You got to kind of know it all to be, at the top.
Yeah, like Islam and shit, Ilia.
Yeah.
You want to be like this is okay, so probably one of the last couple topics we got here.
Hmm.
Star power, right, in MMA. I feel like since you're a young guy, this is something you probably want to consider. Um, there's not a lot of stars.
Hmm.
You got like a John Jones.
Hmm.
Can you name a star off the top of your head? I can't even think of anyone like Ilia,
Ilya, Islam.
Islam,
Yeah, yeah.
but
Uh,
not many, right?
yeah, yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. And I think one of the biggest things is the lack of confidence in like calling your shot.
Hmm.
And I think to some degree it's because, they're not, and I'm not like trying to gas you up. So like I don't know people watching or whatever, but I
Yeah.
think they don't have that because they're not kind of like you in a way where you've kind of grown up in this and you have all this competition experience and you probably have a lot more confidence and self-belief and it's been proven, you know. So I think with all your confidence and self-belief and experience, I think you can kind of be vocal.
Hmm.
Are you trying to like because you've seen your brother do it, right? You've seen your sisters do it. So like, do you want to be different, like and stand out more? Like, do you have any intentions of being like vocal to some degree and talking some shit to your opponents? Like, just let me know what you think about that in general.
That's definitely hard because, all these like superstars or like super big people and like these promotions like combat sports, they're all like, well, not they're all like, but a lot of them they're like super big talkers and because that's like entertaining. And you know, I did think about like if that ever like in the future with my route, but I just don't think I'm that kind of guy. I'm just not good at talking smack.
Okay.
Like,
Even though you grew up in Hawaii, though, you're not good at
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, no,
Okay.
I'm always like, I prefer to be nice. Kind of hard when I beat up people for a living, but I'm not all about like talking and smack talk. I prefer to just let my skills show itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, have you ever considered though on the opposite end, like let's say your opponent, right? Because I feel like you're gonna get this a lot probably, where people are saying you're entitled, you haven't done much, even though you have.
Mhm.
Um, what if they talk shit to you? You ever like envision that, like what you would say back or something like that? You ever think about that? Like,
Uh,
do you have it in you? You feel like you're gonna want to? Or you're gonna be like, nah, just keep to myself.
uh, I don't even know. I mean, I've thought about this scenario before,
Hmm.
and
Like if
I
he
just
says he's
don't.
gonna knock you out, like how you gonna take that? You like that gonna piss you off?
No, I'll probably be like, no, like no. I don't know. Yeah,
All right.
I'm not good with smack talk. I mean, I
Okay.
would just like be like wait till fight night and see if
Yeah.
you get it. Yeah.
Okay, for sure.
Mhm.
Because too, I feel like how do I put this? Okay, with the video you made, right?
Yeah.
The making those videos, I feel like you want to grow your name, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why
Yeah.
you're doing it.
I definitely think up until like actually like a few months ago, like 3 months ago, I didn't really post much at all. And I kind of like I was just gonna let, fighting take its course and like grow my brand that way. But lately I've been getting more on top of my social media because that's such a big part of the fight game.
It
Like
is.
yeah, your brand and investing in yourself. So that's why I've been trying to like, grow myself by myself and not just like waiting for like the organization or like
Yeah, you can't
but,
do that. I feel like yeah, for sure.
So and then like definitely since I'm a professional fighter, so I have the time. It's my profession, so I should just invest it back into myself by growing my own brand. So that's the main reason why I've been like doing all this posting and stuff. But yeah.
Yeah. And I like it. So keep it up. But what okay, so if you don't want to trash talk, right, so to speak, or it's not like you're because it's got to be natural. If you're not good at it, you can't force it either. That's not what I want to see. I don't think a lot of fans want to see that. So
Mhm.
like you've been doing the videos, but what else have you considered, if anything, like as far as like what you can do?
Uh So far that's all I've really
That's pretty
got.
much it.
I've been just like, just focusing on trying to build up my own brand and because I feel like, with the MMA game, it's kind of like hit or miss on like whether you blow up or not. And but there's like things you can do to like, help like give that a little kickstart.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you got to probably just like keep your eye open, and if you see somebody else that kind of does something that kind of garnered attention to their fight, maybe
Hmm.
just see how you could twist it and like make it your own kind of. But
Hmm.
one thing I think you're doing that is also good, interviews and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Because, once you get in with other platforms, like for me, for example, right? I'll like, you came on. So just to give you like behind the scenes a little bit, it's like when I post our interview, right? I want
Yeah.
people to know you. So even if it's not from our clip, if you did something like exciting, so to speak, that
Hmm.
kind of like grows your name, I would probably be more inclined to post it because you're a guest of the program. You
Hmm.
feel me? And
Yeah,
so
yeah,
the more interviews you could do with other media outlets, it kind of gives you priority because like indirectly it makes them want to grow your name because they're pushing their interviews with you and all that stuff. So the bigger you get, the more views their interview gets.
yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's just something, and I've seen you've been doing it, so I think you're doing a good job already.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm always open to doing interviews. Like it's really no problem or hassle for me. And if it's like great to grow my name or it's like great to help your company as well, it's like, it's no problem for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Last few I have here. You got a girlfriend and stuff like that, or like personal life?
Definitely.
Okay, you do.
Yeah, me and my girlfriend, we've been together since the start of senior year in high school.
Okay, and
Yeah.
so that kind of helps you stay locked in. I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Having her by my side, it's like it's really great. All I do every day is I just train and I spend time with her. So it's like, yeah, it's really great.
And the fight game can be pretty lonely, right? So I
Hmm.
feel like a lot of people don't consider that, but like because you're always by yourself, if you don't have a girlfriend, that's pretty much what it is. You're just gonna be by
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah.
It's kind of lonely with your thoughts and shit like that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. So you guys
definitely.
kick it every. Go on. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, no, that's
No,
good.
go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, yeah, yeah, what you said was true. The fight game can be pretty lonely, and just having her by my side, it's like it makes it a lot easier.
Okay. So during
Yeah.
fight camp, you guys kick it. You don't really like separate yourself like some other
No,
fighters do.
no. Yeah, yeah. I don't definitely.
Okay.
Mhm.
With your sister and brother, like what's their day to day like? Do you guys all hang out and stuff, or like as a family? Like what do you guys do?
Well, me and my brother, I see my brother every day because he's like my head coach basically. He trains me in the morning, and then at nighttime, I come in and I teach classes with him. But with my sister Angela, she has her own gym in Pro City, so I don't see her as much, and she's been off to like competitions with like her husband, and so it's like I don't see them as much, but every now and then we still meet up and stuff.
Okay. And
Like,
they're training some up and coming fighters over there too.
yeah, they have a jujitsu gym, so it's mostly like just jujitsu and like grappling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does Christian have any fights coming up or anything like that?
No, there's nothing scheduled yet, but I think he definitely plans to get in the ring soon.
Okay, for sure. All right. And so I guess we'll end it with a bang, right? Have you seen this? There's this guy in LA, right? This gangster. He's like a Crip. Have you seen this? Have you seen the clips?
No, I
Okay.
don't think so.
There's this big gangster, right? He's been in jail and he's
Yeah.
done like a lot of jail fights and shit like that. And he's claiming that he could knock out a UFC fighter.
No, those guys
This
is
is like
like
another Jake Paul type thing.
it's like all you can do is kind of laugh. It's like
Yeah.
all these guys, there's a bunch of like people in the world who like heavily overestimate, their skill set. And I definitely think that, with like some of these guys, they probably can pack quite a punch. So like you can't like underestimate everybody. But it's just like, with professional trained fighters that have been doing like with me, I've been doing this like my entire life. It's kind of funny to see like someone who has like only had like a few fights on the street claimed that they could beat like a seasoned veteran. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I guess at the same time, to give it a devil's advocate, there's some boys in Hawaii, right, that can get down with like
Mhm.
some MMA fighters.
Mhm.
You feel like that or no? Because
Well,
they're all the guys in Hawaii got hands, like even if they don't train.
hmm. Yeah, I think that like definitely in like the MMA gyms, like you see you come in like you could spar with like one guy and like he's like has like been training for like a few years, been like or like one guy who like came in on the first day, but he's just a natural. So it just depends on the person and like the type of fighter they are.
Yeah, and it's like you might be good in the streets, you know, but that's only like the base. Like that's like being good at like one aspect of martial arts. Like you
Yeah.
got to like come in and like develop that because
Mhm,
like you're saying that just makes you like a natural, so to speak. You got a
mhm,
little bit of experience, but you come in there with a guy with experience, you're gonna
mhm.
get messed up.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think that like 90% of the time though, the people that like have a few street fights, it's a lot different once they come into a gym with like professional or even amateur MMA fighters.
Yeah, and that's never happened to you over there in Hawaii. Like, you're anything like that happened with you?
No, I mean like luckily like our gym it's like really family based. So like everyone that comes in, like we have a really nice community. So like we haven't got anyone like trying to like pick a fight with anybody or anything.
Okay, but not on the streets or anything like that.
Oh no, no. Like I've never been like any street fights or anything before.
Yeah.
And like
Okay,
I
fair
just
enough.
like I'm just also not that kind of guy to like to go into a street fight. Like I would always just like I would probably do anything to avoid a street fight if
Yeah,
possible. Yeah.
smart move. You don't know if anybody has weapons and shit like that. They're out of their damn mind.
Hmm.
And then okay, I know I keep saying last thing, but I saw Smoker, and you just mentioned your gym.
Oh yeah.
So what's up with that? Like, do you guys do that often or?
Yeah, so that was actually the first time we've done it. We did like a little smoker event for like all our fighters to, it's definitely a lot of experience that like our fighters are able to get like a full-on real feel of a fight without it being actual fight, on their cards, on their records. So I think we're definitely gonna do another one again, but it's just the main reason we're doing it is to just build our own fighters, so and but also to build our gym name because we only started up last year, so really wanting to grow our gym and spread the word about it.
So how does that work? Like, you basically put out flyers and stuff, and you get a lot of people in. Like, how does it translate to growing your gym? Like, more people sign up after you hold
Yeah,
one of those smokers?
it's kind of more word of mouth. But like we just with our fighters or even just like other fighters from other teams compete. We have like a bunch of different matches like jujitsu, grappling, or like MMA, and like you can just sign up, and then like they call you in. We do like weigh-ins, and you just like you just get an opportunity to get a full fight feel without it being a real fight.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Um, I've already asked you too many, but I got another one for you, so I'm sorry.
Okay. Okay. No worries.
Nito, you know Nito in like Waianae and shit like that with Asa Stevens.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, what about you? Ever think about training with him? Like, he might get your hands like just a little bit extra, like, crisp or something like that. You ever think about that? Like, there's a lot of guys in Hawaii. Like, I'm surprised you guys don't all like cross train with each other and like, build it up. By the way, if you go on Google Trends, you could look it up for yourself. Um, like Hawaii is the fastest growing state for
Mhm.
MMA.
Oh
Like, as
wow.
far as like media trends. So like the
Mhm,
fact that you're coming out of Hawaii, you're a Hawaiian fighter, 18 years old, like
mhm.
you should see like the interview I did with Asa like last year. It's still getting views like today. Like you guys
Mhm.
have like everybody searches for fights in Hawaii, it seems like. So you
Yeah.
ever think about training with like Nito and all that stuff?
Honestly, like that hasn't really popped into my mind yet. I would love to just train with anyone really. I'm always looking to like, grow my own game. I love training with like any accomplished or like, good fighters. If the opportunity presented itself, I would love to get in there, but right now, my brother, the double champ, he beats me up every day. So right now he's like all the push I need right now.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be a nice collab. If you talk about something that might go like crazy on social media, if I saw a video of you training with like Asa Stevens,
Mhm.
right? Just you both training for your fights, helping each other out, or something like that. You and Nito on the pads. I feel like I might like watching that.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that would definitely be pretty cool, a pretty cool opportunity if that ever happened. But it's like everyone in like the fight community, they all have their kind of little groups and they all kind of like stick together, At sometimes
Is
it's
that what
like
it is? Kind of.
like yeah, I feel like, it's like we've always just been like our own group and then like you got like Max's group and like it's
Because you
kind of
got like Nainoa Dung over in another corner of Hawaii, like doing his thing.
like
You guys, and I know he fought your brother too, but that's what, and even Nainoa, when I did an interview with him, he hasn't done much in MMA, right? He's got like a few Bellator fights, but
yeah,
that
yeah.
interview, like last year, did like 1,000+ views. That's what I'm saying. Asa did a bunch of views. I feel like you're going to do a bunch of views.
Mhm.
So yeah, but you guys are all training separately instead of, because think
Yeah,
about it,
yeah.
you guys all go together with all your big platforms. You guys would be like a fucking big old, like, you know what I mean, conglomerate.
Yeah, yeah. Oh well, definitely. Who we have been cross training with is Ray Cooper.
Oh,
He's
there you go. Yeah, Kai
he's
Kamaka and
been
shit.
coming down and training at our gym a bit, but he just recently had like a match and got injured in Submission Battleground, a grappling tournament. So we haven't been training with him, but like he was coming pretty consistently, and we're all
Okay.
training. Yeah.
All right, that's dope. Well, more to come then. More collabs to come. And just think of me if you ever get like something tied to Asa or Nito or like Nino or something like that. I feel
Mhm.
like the Hawaiian fans, we know all you guys.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like we would see you. You know what I mean? We'll be like, oh shit, he's training with this guy. Like we got to see this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. If that happens, that'd be great.
All right. I'll be waiting on that video to drop.
All right.
All right, Adrian. Good luck in the fight and stay safe in training and all that.
All right. Thank you.